Hey, it's Xavier. In the background, it's 104.1. It's as close as I can get it in that radio. Anyway, my shirt says Rock Revival all the way down it. Obviously, I have a face mask on because I don't like my face. I did a good job covering it this time. At least more of it. If you want to see my face, just go to my channel and scroll down. You'll get why I don't like it. Okay, so... Oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm all over the place. So, I guess I'm just going to talk about my last period. Before I got the norethindrome. And a high enough dosage to get off of that. Mostly because I've had some breakthrough, I guess is what they would call it. Yeah, so I've had a bit of cramping and got a bit of my period back. But not enough for it to actually last a week or anything. And it's not as bad as it definitely was before. So if you don't know what period pain feels like, there are some funny videos, but I don't feel like they're accurate enough to describe it, where girls and their boyfriends, they bought a tool that it's about the same as period pain, but apparently only goes up to like level 25. And I guess for regular people, it only is like a 15, or if they're really lucky, it's only like a 5 or whatever, and they don't experience that much, and there's more breaks in between the waves and things like that. So, for the most part, you need painkillers and everything. But for me, ibuprofen doesn't work. I've taken way over what you're supposed to. I've taken like 6 pills. It did nothing, no side effects or anything. Yeah, definitely overdosed on it quite a few times, and it still did nothing for my pain. I've used ice and heating pads. I'll have like ice I'll have an ice pack on one side and a heating pad on the other, and it'll help a little bit, but not really. But for the most part, yeah, it was always really painful, so I wasn't able to move. I would literally get out of the bed of where I was, my last place I lived. It was a bunk bed, so I couldn't really crawl back up on it, because I couldn't move I could barely move, because there was such extreme pain that I always had to lay down on the couch and then only make trips in between the couch and to the bathroom. And that was literally what I would do. I went in the sun, so this dried faster, so I'm gonna have to take it off after I make this video. For the mask. But anyway, what I was talking about, yeah, it always makes you super lightheaded and makes you feel like you want to faint, and it's extreme pain, and the pain never stops. It just, the lower pain, you get used to it, and then you get like the sharp pain and extreme pain, and then it goes back to the pain you're used to, so it feels like you're getting a break, but not really. And it hurts more depending on your movement and everything. The last period I experienced was, besides the occasional breakthrough I had while I was on T now, and when I was on norethindrome, when I was also on T on then too. But yeah, Yeah, I got switched over to Northern for that to stop after I had to go to the hospital because my last one, it was at the end of my junior year. Because of COVID and everything, we finished the rest of our the last couple weeks of school online, but I couldn't finish like the last week. I was able to finish most of it and everything, and it was definitely enough to finish that year and all of that. There were a couple of finals I wasn't able to finish because I was in the hospital for a couple days, and then they took me to Cornerstone. So I was an inpatient there for like about 5 days, maybe. So it was the end of May. So yeah, um, yeah, it was really bad pain I had to experience all day. I couldn't stop crying. Um, it always feels like there's a literal knife not just being jabbed into your side. Um, so into your hips and then to your genital area, and just over and over again in your sides. Well, if you'd actually did it with a knife, it would actually be more accurate because you're losing blood and you feel faint. You just don't get to pass out. And any relief from the pain. And it's repeating the stabbing. I couldn't stop crying from the pain. It just hurt so bad that I was just continuously crying. I refuse to cry usually otherwise. I hate crying. I've always seen it as a weakness, as long as well as expressing any emotions besides anger. So, yeah. But, so it was really bad, and it was one of the few times I'd cut myself while I was on my period, because, I cut it to help relieve some of the pain, but it didn't, do anything. It didn't distract me from the pain in my side or anything, and I continued crying. It was when my sister found me, after I'd cut myself and took me to the hospital, and then I was still crying for quite a few hours until a while, like maybe half hour, 15 minutes after they gave me a shot to help with the pain. I was taken to the emergency room, and then it was like Friday, and then no one can get me in just about on the weekend. Well, I was able to get into Cornerstone on the weekend. Just about all of their patients had left, so they were empty and they had room. They don't recommend it. They don't recommend Cornerstone for when you're dealing with depression and cutting, suicidal thoughts and all of that. But that wasn't the reason I was in the hospital. I was in there because of extreme pain. But I was like, I should probably go to Cornerstone or some mental health facility, be an inpatient for a while, because I knew if I went home I'd still cut. So yeah, but things got messed up in interpretation, and then Cornerstone helped me by helping me get started in the process of getting Medicare. Yeah, they helped me in that process. Medicare. And then I had to deal with that mess with having to deal with the medical bills for transportation in an ambulance. So that's what they took me to in Cornerstone. Because I couldn't rely on my parents or whatever to actually take me to Cornerstone or not. I also wasn't living with them at the time. I had already moved out. I was 18 then, so I wasn't able to get HIP, because apparently you have to be 19 years old to get that. So they set me up with other Medicare, and they helped me with that. And that experience was a whole mess. It wasn't the greatest. There was a lot of miscommunication. They apparently diagnosed me with a personality disorder. And then I talked to my therapist later, and they didn't tell me that they diagnosed me with that. They kept on switching doctors, and so different doctors would tell me different things, and then they didn't tell me until the day of that I was leaving, and if I was taken off of suicide watch and different things like that, and if I could get my clothes back. Yeah, it was a whole mess. Yeah, yeah. I had already been cutting for a while, so it wasn't a big difference. Um, but yeah, so there was a lot of extreme pain and a lot of crying. It was a mess. And then I was able to get on Norethadone, so there was less periods. Yes, there wasn't really any periods after that, and there wasn't really any period pain. And then I had to mess with hormones and everything else, because obviously, I'm a trans man. So I was only just able to get this deep voice and everything in the last couple months. So yeah, so it's very dull, and it's not even close to the pain it was before. It's like light stabbing. Light stabbing. Yeah. Best I can express it. And I also don't like how periods is seen as like, oh, you're becoming a woman and everything. Yeah. Yeah. I really do think of it as a bloody curse, and yeah, because it's literally just pain and blood loss and wanting to pass out and faint all the time and feeling lightheaded, and being in extreme pain. And it's like for guys and everything, if you're bleeding, you're taken to the hospital and everything. But for girls and everything, you're just being like, oh, it's just a sign of being womanhood. Oh, and it's seen as a good thing. It's not a good thing. You're in pain all the time. You're miserable. And you hate everything. But I always was pain and miserable and hated everything. Anyway, so just adding on to that, you know, I've had depression and everything for a long time, and I was first attempted suicide when I was 5, and then I was 8, and then cutting was just a way to relieve, and distract from emotional pain and give me permission to cry when I was cutting. Yeah, and then I've cut myself everywhere, and then cuttings are also my attempts at suicide most of the time, but since they never worked, obviously, because I'm still here and alive, I just call it cutting. So yeah, this is my mess of experience, so don't be me. Get help, talk to a therapist, and professionals, and things like that. I'll give links and things and below. Guys and girls can wear dresses, guys and girls, or whatever you identify. Everyone can wear makeup, everyone can wear whatever they want. You can wear heels, you can wear dresses, you can wear skirts, whatever you like and whatever's comfortable. Be free to express yourself. Even if you're straight, or if you're queer, or you're non-binary, or you're gender fluid, or you're asexual, or anything like that. Just do whatever works for you and whatever makes you comfortable, and try to be yourself and live your best life, even if everyone else in the world hates you. Try and love the things that make you different, because personally also, the only thing I love about myself is fact, I'm gay. A lot of therapy and everything to help me love more of my personality, but still hate my outer body. So, still a huge mess. Still obviously have to take depression meds after this video. So, yeah. Good luck. Hope you don't be me and actually get help. Bye.